By 2025, your brain's default operating system is officially obsolete. It was built for a world of scarcity, simple choices, and tangible threats. A world that no longer exists. And its two favorite commands in this new digital wildfire: scroll and sabotage. You've been told you're lazy. You've been sold on willpower. Both are lies. The truth is, you're running a virus-lagged legacy neural OS against a generation of people who have already silently upgraded. They aren't smarter. They aren't more disciplined. They are simply running better software. But starting today, you can install the patch. Stick around, and I will give you the 3 activation codes to force install your upgrade. The new reality. Your brain in the digital wildfire. Let's diagnose the problem with absolute precision. Your hardware, your physical brain, is a biological supercomputer. It's fine. The problem is the software, your neural OS. Think of it like trying to run a cutting-edge AI model on Windows 95. It will crash every single day. Your system is flooded with more data and decision points than your grandparents encountered in a month. This isn't just distraction. It's a constant, low-grade cognitive assault. This creates what I call cognitive static. The mental noise that drowns out your goals, your clarity, and your energy. Your subconscious isn't lazy. It's a brilliant energy conservation machine running on total overwhelm. It defaults to the path of least resistance. The scroll, the junk food, the procrastination. Not because you're weak, but because it's trying to prevent a total system shutdown by conserving processing power. But in 2025, low-energy mode is a luxury you can't afford. The world is moving too fast. The gap between the upgraded and the obsolete is widening by the minute. The 2025 upgrade. Introducing the Triad protocol. So forget everything you know about 21-day challenges built on grit and guilt. We're compressing the timeline by changing the entire process. The top 1% of performers, the founders, the artists, the athletes, aren't using willpower. They're using system-level commands that you don't have access to yet. This is the Triad protocol. 3 levers, pulled in sequence, to bypass your conscious resistance and rewrite the code at the root level. This isn't about adding more motivational posters to your wall. It's about gaining root access to your own mind and changing your core permissions. Master these 3 codes, and you don't need willpower. The system runs itself. Protocol activation. Code 1. Neural Debug Mode, Awareness 2.0. Step 1 isn't journaling. Let's be honest. Journaling feels like homework. It's slow, it's manual, and your brain resists it. Step 1 is debugging. You are a system administrator identifying corrupted code. You cannot rewrite a program you cannot see. So for the next 48 hours, and this is a focused sprint, not a marathon, your primary mission is to activate Neural Debug Mode. Your tool? Not a notebook. Your phone's voice memo app. The moment you catch a limiting belief, you stop, you open the app, and you record yourself stating that belief verbatim. Now, these beliefs typically fall into 3 categories. Financial code. I'm bad with money. Social code. I'm not a real entrepreneur. Physical code. I'm not a morning person. When you hear yourself say these things out loud, you expose their inherent absurdity. I'm bad with money isn't a fact. It's a faulty program that prevents you from learning financial literacy. Hearing your own voice, with its tone of resignation, detaches you from the code. It becomes data, not destiny. This is passive, active awareness, and it's 10x more effective than writing because it engages a different sensory pathway. But we don't just identify the bug, we write the patch. This is the counter command. For every faulty line of code you catch, you pre-write a new command to replace it. Tactical example. You're about to go to the gym, and the thought arises, "I'm too tired, I'll go tomorrow." You record the debug. Debug belief. My energy levels are not sufficient for consistent execution. Then you state your counter-command. Counter-command. My energy is governed by my action, not my emotion. Motion creates energy. The power isn't just in the capture, it's in the immediate rewrite. You are not a passive victim of your thoughts. You are the system administrator with the authority to edit the source code. I want you to pause this video right now. Open your Notes app or a voice memo. I want you to write down or record one core limiting belief you know is holding you back, and one counter command to replace it. This is your first act of system administration. Do it now. Protocol activation. Code 2. The environment firewall. Dopamine reset 2.0. Now that you're debugging the internal code, we move to the most underestimated force in your life. Your environment. Trying to resist temptation with willpower is a battle you've already lost. You are fighting against billion-dollar algorithms designed to hijack your attention. In 2025, the solution isn't self-control, it's architecture. You need to build a firewall between you and the chaos. This isn't another dopamine detox. That's a myth. Your brain runs on dopamine. The goal isn't elimination, it's curation. You are going on a deliberate dopamine diet. For the next 72 hours, I challenge you to implement 2 non-negotiable firewall rules. Rule 1. The sacred first 90. For the first 90 minutes of your day, your brain gets 0 digital input. No phone, no news, no email, no podcasts. Nothing. Your brain's first boot-up sequence sets the entire day's operating tone. If the first thing you do is check the chaotic, problem-filled world, you are installing anxiety and reactivity as your core programs. Instead, this 90 minutes is for physical motion, hydration, sunlight, and your 2.0 action. You are defining the day before it defines you. Rule 2. The intentional scroll. You are not banning scrolling. You are weaponizing it. Before you open any social media or entertainment app, you must state your purpose aloud. I am opening YouTube to watch one tutorial on Python. The moment you achieve that purpose, you close the app. You are moving from a passive consumer to an active hunter-gatherer of information. But this is just the foundation. The real power comes from engineering friction and frictionlessness. You must add friction to your vices. Uninstall social media apps from your phone and only use them on a browser. Use a website blocker like Cold Turkey or Freedom during work blocks. Put your phone in grayscale mode. It makes the digital world less stimulating and less appealing. Move your router's power plug to another room so you can't mindlessly surf at night. Conversely, you must make virtues frictionless. This is the secret. On Sunday night, the architect, your 2.0 self, sets up the week for success. They lay out their workout clothes next to the bed. They prep their breakfast. They charge their laptop in a different room to create a dedicated work zone. They set up a coffee maker on a timer, so the smell pulls them out of bed. You are not relying on motivation. You are engineering an environment where the right choice is the easiest choice to make. Remember, you are not a passenger in your environment. You are the system administrator. Protocol activation. Code 3. Identity forking. The be-do-have flip. This is the master key, the core of your entire neural OS. Everyone says, fake it till you make it. That's incomplete and exhausting. In 2025, you fork it till you become it. This is identity forking. You are taking you 1.0 and creating a new parallel branch. You 2.0. The shift is this: you stop asking the weak question, "What should I do?" And you start asking the powerful, commanding question, "What would my 2.0 self already have done?" This question pulls you into the future, instead of pushing from the past. Here is your actionable framework to run this. 1. The 2.0 morning query. The moment you wake up, during your sacred first 90, you ask, what is one simple, undeniable action my 2.0 self would have already completed by 9 a.m.? Not 10 actions. 1. Let me give you specific identity-based examples. If your 2.0 identity is the founder, the query is, what one key metric would the founder have reviewed by 9 a.m.? If your 2.0 identity is the writer, the query is, what 200 words would the writer have already drafted? If your 2.0 identity is the investor, the query is, what one market move would the investor have already analyzed in their watch list? This is not a task. It is an identity signal. You are not trying to be a founder. You are behaving as the founder does. 2. The 2.0 evening review. At night, you spend 60 seconds asking, did any of my key actions today align with my legacy OS or my new fork? This isn't for guilt. Guilt is a legacy OS emotion. This is for data. You are analyzing the logs. Noted, at 3 p.m., I reverted to legacy code and scrolled for 40 minutes. Tomorrow, I will strengthen the firewall. This works because of a neurological reward cycle. Goal-based action gives you a delayed reward. You feel good when you finally hit the goal. But identity-based action gives you an instant reward. The moment you complete that morning query, your brain gets a hit of satisfaction. I am the founder. I am the writer. That immediate identity reinforcement is more addictive and sustainable than any distant goal. You are not visualizing the future. You are operationalizing it, executing commands from the future you. Every action is a commit to the new codebase. The 2025 Payoff, from static to signal. When you run this Triad protocol in sequence, Debug, Firewall, Fork, you aren't just building a habit. You are architecting a new reality. The cognitive static that has been drowning your signal for years begins to fade. And in that silence, you start receiving the signal. The sharp ideas, the unexpected opportunities, the deep energy that was always there. But your old, corrupted OS was too noisy and too slow to process. This is how you don't just survive, but thrive in the age of AI, information overload, and endless distraction. You stop fighting your brain, and you start leading it. You become the undisputed system administrator of your own mind. The community challenge. Listen, installing a new OS is technically possible alone, but it's vulnerable to bugs and rollbacks. The most powerful, permanent upgrades happen in a community. That's why I'm launching the 7-day Triad Protocol Challenge inside the Hustle Gains network. Here is your entry ticket. It has 3 parts. Comment 2.0 below. In your comment, post your number 1 debug belief and its counter command. Declare your number 1 2.0 identity. For example, 2.0, debugged. I'm not a real programmer. Counter command. I am a builder who ships code. My 2.0 identity. The builder. Or 2.0, debugged. My content will never stand out. Counter command. My unique perspective is my competitive advantage. My 2.0 identity. The storyteller. I will be personally in the comments for the next 7 days, responding, giving feedback, and featuring the most powerful upgrades in a follow-up video. Let's build the most focused, high-agency community on the internet, right here, right now. The choice is now binary. Continue running on legacy software, watching the world move faster while you're stuck on the loading screen. Or spend the next week installing the 2025 upgrade. The protocol is live. Your future self is waiting on the other side of this fork. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Because next, we're linking your new Neural OS directly to your bank account. We're going to talk about rewriting your financial code. That's where it gets real. Execute.